In this particular experiment, I want to show you how to flush the printer head when it is blocked. So let's say your printer head is blocked and it's been blocked for only a day or a day and a half. So you can't do this unless your printer head is blocked for just 2-3 days. If your printer head has been blocked for like 2 weeks, this is not going to work. So this has been blocked for months now, so like 4 months, so definitely nothing is going to come out. But if yours is like 3 days or 4, you can still do this procedure and it'll work. Alright guys, welcome to another video. In this video, I want to show you how to flush your XP600 printer head. This is obviously a used printer head, and the purpose is so that I can show you what really happens when you flush, and so that you can have an idea what really goes on when you do that experiment. Now, so XP600 has some things we call nozzles. So if you look at this particular place here, you can see those nozzles. The nozzles are the holes, these holes very thin, these holes. So those are the nozzles. The ink normally goes through these holes and then come out through these vents during printing. So basically, when you put 6 tubes in these places, the inks will come out here, and then your prints will be done using the electronic board that is on this place, right? So in this particular experiment, I want to show you how to flush the printer head when it is blocked. You're going to need a couple of things. You don't need a screwdriver, but I'm going to use a screwdriver for that purpose. You need a brush to clean up excess inks when you eventually do the flushing. You need a rag, something dirty to be able to clean the crevices, especially when there's a splurge. You'll see what the splurge is now in a minute. You need a syringe, 60 cm syringe, and then you need a small tube. I cut this from just anywhere. All right, so let's get to it. So let's say your printer head is blocked, and it's been blocked for only a day or a day and a half. So you can't do this unless your printer head is blocked for just 2-3 days. If your printer head has been blocked for like 2 weeks, this is not going to work. So this has been blocked for months now, so like 4 months. So definitely nothing is going to come out. But if yours is like 3 days or 4, you can still do this procedure and it'll work. Right, so I have solvents here. This is not your regular solvent, but then it's a solvent anyway. So the first thing you do is to dip your tube inside the solvent, like so, like this, and then you suck it in. So you suck some solvent into the syringe, like that. Now, you stick the other end of the syringe or the tube into the printer head like this, right? So what you do next is that you then push the ink through the vents, and then you push it out. Now, I told you nothing was going to happen, because ideally now, if your printer head was new, something was supposed to happen. But I don't know if you see that even though this printer head is blocked, it's beginning to open up, and then you can see the puddles of ink come out, right? So you can let that rest in that nozzle for a bit, and then you remove it again. Now, this is why I said you needed the rag. So all of these excess ink, you need to clean it off immediately as you're working with it, so that it does not go beyond its boundary and then begin to damage things. Again, for this one, we just clean it so that it doesn't leave that surface. At the bottom of this place is a motherboard. You'll see it when I eventually loose this up. At the end of it is a motherboard. And if you're not careful, the ink that is coming out from here can damage the board. So you don't want that to happen. You understand? So while the first one is easing out, you then stick this one in there, right? And then you do the same procedure again. I'm turning it the other way around because of you. So you try to force it. Because the printer head is old, like I said, you won't really find many things happen. You can see that I'm pushing with all of my strength and nothing is really happening. If you look at that syringe, is going back. it's not passing it because it's blocked. I'll show you why it is blocked in a minute, but I just wanted you to know this is where you put the syringe, the tube. Now, because of the action I've been trying to do, a lot of gas is forced between this place and the tube. So if you remove it now, you see that tiny splash. You can clean that off. If your printer head was just 2-3 days, like I said, the ink would have come out from this way. So you do the exact same thing like that for the third one, and then the fourth one, and then like that, and then by the time you're done, then you do the fifth one, and then the sixth one. Right? Okay. So now, if you look at the sixth one, you can see that there's some puddles beginning to gather on the surface of that tube. Soon enough, can you see that splash? I don't know if you see that splash of ink jetting out from the face of a printer head. Let me see it again, and then do that all over again. Right? So now, if your printer head was newer than this, then you would have more jets of ink coming out like that. Right? Can you see that jet ahead? Great. So that's basically what you do. And ideally now you're supposed to have a jet of ink across the surface of this printer head like that, and it should be like a lot of rain of colors, tiny rains that will come out like a fountain like that for every of the nozzles. Right. So but this one is blocked. That's why those things can't work. So the next thing I want to do now is that I want to show you what really gets blocked inside your printer head. So to do that, I'm going to unscrew this printer head right now, and I'll show you this same experiment on the other end. Now we've taken apart the printer head, so we're back here again. So remember, we started from this nozzle. There, you stick it in, and then if we push the ink now, we might see, can you see that ink coming out? So so that's number one. If we come back to this, you push it again, you see that ink jetting out like that. Then you clean it. Remember to always clean it. Then next to that, you take this and then you push as well. Alright. Like that. And then you do the same thing for all the other 6 nozzles still. So this one is so blocked, nothing is coming up. After a while, it will eventually come off. Right? Eventually come off. And then the last fall, like that. So now we know this container is free now. Then if you have any other blockages, you know the blockage is coming from here, right? So what other thing you can do after that is you can glue this back on, right? I glue this back on, tighten it back on. With the screws again. So I'm just going to skip this video and then go to the part where I have locked everything. Now, when you're fitting this back in, you want to be careful with the rubber, because this rubber acts like a suction. And then to block in any air gaps, and then the rubber goes in this way, not the other way around. So, and don't forget to remember to track the holes. This rubber is critical. in the installation of your printer head. So now, if you then try to push, right? So if you push some more, now if after you have pushed again, the syringe is not able to push anything, and at the same time, the syringe is not able to push anything, and at the same time, it's kind of like pushing backwards against you, then you know for sure that the printer head is blocked, or at least that particular nozzle that is not pushing anything out is blocked. So like I said, you remove this case and then you loose it out, and then you use the solvent to flush whatever is inside of that head out, and then you now come back here. So if after flushing this case and you push ink again, you screwed it back on and you pushed it and nothing is coming out from here, you know automatically your printer head is blocked. But like I said, don't do this if you are not sure your printer head is there. I would rather you use the general manual pump nozzle clean to clean your machine rather than go in this route, because if you go through this route, you can actually damage something. Alright, so I hope that has helped you. If it has, I want you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you in another video. Bye. Take care.